The city was a symphony of chaos, a cacophony of sounds and sights that never seemed to rest. Day and night the streets were alive with the hum of activity, a constant reminder of the relentless pace of urban life. Car horns blared incessantly, sirens wailed in the distance, and the chatter of millions of voices created a backdrop of perpetual noise. It was a city that never slept, where every corner held a story and every face had a tale to tell. Among them was Maria, a young woman with calloused hands and tired eyes. She was one of the countless souls who navigated the city's labyrinthine streets, her life a testament to resilience and determination. She worked tirelessly, cleaning offices long after the city lights winked on. Each night, as the city transitioned from day to night, Maria's work began. She scrubbed floors, dusted desks, and emptied trash cans, her efforts often going unnoticed by those who occupied the spaces she cleaned. Her life was a tapestry woven with threads of hardship, each day a struggle for survival. Yet despite the challenges, Maria found moments of solace in the small victories, a spotless floor, a kind word from a colleague, or a brief moment of rest in the park.
My days are long, and my nights even longer. The hours stretch endlessly, but I keep going, driven by a purpose that transcends the fatigue and weariness. But I keep going, for my mother. She is my anchor, my reason for enduring the hardships. Every time I look at my watch, I'm reminded of her sacrifices and the dreams she had for me.
Across town, a world away, lived a man named Thomas. His life was a stark contrast to Maria's, filled with privilege and ease. He moved through the city with a sense of purpose, yet there was an emptiness that shadowed his every step. His life was one of privilege and ease, a stark contrast to Maria's. While Maria toiled away in the shadows, Thomas basked in the glow of luxury. His days were filled with board meetings and charity galas, events that showcased his success and influence. He moved through gilded halls, his days filled with board meetings and charity galas. Yet, despite the opulence that surrounded him, Thomas felt a profound emptiness, a yearning for something more meaningful. Despite his wealth, Thomas felt a profound emptiness, a yearning for something more. He often found himself gazing out of his office window, lost in thought, wondering if there was more to life than the pursuit of success and material wealth. Though their paths had never crossed, fate had a plan to bring them together. In a city of millions, their lives were on a collision course, set to intersect in ways neither could have anticipated. A plan that began with a simple yet elegant watch. This watch, a symbol of time and connection, would become the catalyst for a series of events that would change both their lives forever. The watch was a family heirloom, passed down through generations of Thomas's family. Crafted from gleaming gold, it was more than just a timepiece. It was a symbol of his family's legacy. One evening, as Thomas hailed a cab after a late meeting, the watch slipped unnoticed from his wrist. He felt a pang of loss when he realized it was gone. It was more than just the monetary value. It was the sentimental value that was irreplaceable. Unbeknownst to Thomas, the watch had fallen onto the sidewalk where it lay forgotten amidst the rush of the city. Later that night, as Maria made her way home, exhausted but determined, she spotted something glinting under a street lamp. Curiosity drew her closer, and she bent down to examine it. There, lying on the cold pavement, was the watch. It was more beautiful than anything Maria had ever seen. The gold shimmered under the streetlight, and the intricate details on its face were mesmerizing.
Oh my, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
For a moment, Maria simply stared at it, her heart pounding in her chest. It was a find that could change her life, a ticket to a better future. She could sell it and finally escape the clutches of poverty. The thought of all she could do with the money swirled in Maria's mind. She could afford a proper meal, a warm coat for the coming winter, maybe even a small apartment for herself. The possibilities seemed endless.
I could finally give my mother the care she needs. We could have a better life.
But as she clutched the watch in her hand, she felt a pang of guilt. This watch, this symbol of someone else's history, didn't belong to her. She knew it was wrong to keep it. The decision weighed heavily on her. She was torn between the allure of a better life and the nagging voice of her conscience.
Maria stood under the street lamp for what felt like an eternity, the weight of the watch heavy in her hand. The city noises faded into the background as she wrestled with her conscience. She knew the right thing to do. It wasn't hers to keep. Despite her circumstances, despite the allure of escaping her poverty, Maria clung to her integrity. It was the one thing she had left, the one thing that gave her life meaning. With a deep breath, Maria made her decision. She would find the owner and return the watch. It was the right thing to do, and sometimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing of all.
The next day, Maria went back to the area where she had found the watch. She hoped that maybe, just maybe, she would find some clue as to its owner. She walked up and down the street, her eyes scanning every inch of the sidewalk. Exhausted and disheartened, she decided to take a break at a small cafe.
As she sat there, sipping her coffee, she noticed a flyer on the bulletin board. It was a lost and found notice for a gold watch. Could it be?
Maria's heart skipped a beat. She rushed to the counter and asked the barista about the notice. The barista, a kind-hearted woman with a warm smile, recognized the watch in Maria's hand from the description on the flyer. She quickly called the number on the flyer and explained the situation. Within minutes, Thomas arrived at the cafe, his face etched with worry. The watch was not just any ordinary timepiece. It held deep, sentimental value for him, a connection to his late father. The barista, sensing the urgency in his voice, reassured him that the watch was safe and in good hands.
Is this your watch? I found it last night. I knew it had to be important to someone.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. This watch means the world to me. It's a family heirloom passed down through generations.
When he saw Maria holding his watch, his eyes widened in disbelief and relief. He thanked her profusely, explaining its sentimental value. The watch had been a gift from his father, who had worn it every day until his passing. It was a symbol of their bond, a reminder of the lessons and love shared between them.
You have no idea how much this means to me. It's not just a watch, it's a family heirloom. My father wore it every day and it reminds me of him.
Touched by Maria's honesty and integrity, Thomas decided to do something extraordinary. He offered her a job at his company, a chance to escape the cycle of poverty she had been trapped in. He saw potential in her, a spark of determination and kindness that he knew would be an asset to his team. He wanted to give her an opportunity to change her life, just as she had changed his by returning the precious watch.
You know, someone as honest and kind as you deserves a better opportunity. How would you like to work at my company? We could use someone with your integrity and heart.
Really? I don't know what to say. Thank you. This is more than I could have ever hoped for. You have no idea how much this means to me and my family. I promise I won't let you down.
Maria was overwhelmed with gratitude. She accepted Thomas's offer, and her life was forever changed.
I can't believe this is happening. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
She flourished in her new environment, her work ethic and determination shining through. With each passing day, she learned and grew, eventually climbing the ranks within the company. She found a home, not just within the company, but within herself.
I finally feel like I belong somewhere.
The watch, the catalyst for her transformation, became a reminder of the power of honesty and the importance of following one's conscience, no matter how difficult the path may seem. It was a turning point in her life, a testament to the idea that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, changing lives in unimaginable ways. Maria had always believed in the power of good deeds, but it wasn't until that night that she truly understood their profound impact. The city park, with its serene ambience, became a place of reflection for her, a sanctuary where she could ponder the complexities of life and the choices that define us. Years later, Maria, now a successful businesswoman, often thought back to that fateful night. The memory of finding the watch, the internal struggle, and her decision to return it was forever etched in her mind. She remembered the weight of the watch in her hand, the way it glinted under the park's lamplight, and the sense of responsibility that washed over her. It was a moment of moral clarity that would shape her future decisions and guide her through the challenges of her career.
I never imagined that returning a lost watch would change my life so profoundly. It was a simple act, Yet it set off a chain of events that led me to where I am today. That night, I learned that doing the right thing, no matter how small, can have far-reaching consequences.
Maria never forgot the lesson she had learned. She made it her mission to pay it forward, helping others in need and inspiring them to live with integrity and compassion. She started a foundation dedicated to supporting those who found themselves at crossroads, much like she had been. Through her work, she touched countless lives, offering not just financial assistance but also mentorship and emotional support. Her story became a beacon of hope, illustrating the transformative power of kindness.
If I can help even one person the way Thomas helped me, it will all be worth it. Every time I see someone overcome their struggles and find their path, I am reminded of that night in the park. It reinforces my belief that we all have the power to make a difference, one small act at a time.
Maria's story is a powerful reminder that integrity is not about grand gestures, but about the choices we make every single day, even when no one is watching us. It is about doing the right thing, even when it's hard, even when it seems like no one will notice or care. In a world that often celebrates shortcuts and quick fixes, Maria's story is a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of honesty, kindness, and the belief that even in the darkest of times, a single act of integrity can illuminate the path to a brighter future for all.
I guess I was unfair to her, and to you, Dad. I'm sorry.
There is nothing to apologize for, sweetheart. We're all learning and growing. How about getting to know Maria better? I'm sure you two can learn a lot from each other.
That afternoon, Julia sought out Maria in the office. Instead of rivalry, she offered friendship and was willing to help Maria in her adaptation to the company.
Maria, in turn, was touched by Julia's gesture. She shared her experiences, her struggles, and her dreams, opening Julia's eyes to a reality she had never considered before.
In the weeks that followed, an unlikely friendship blossomed between the two young women. His daughter's change in perspective was further proof of the transformative power of a simple act of kindness. He realized that the true legacy he would leave behind would not just be his fortune, but the values of compassion, integrity, and empathy he was cultivating in his family and his company. Maria's story not only changed her own life, but was creating waves of positive impact, transforming the worldview of those around her. It was a powerful reminder that each action, no matter how small it may seem, has the potential to create significant changes in the world. 5 years had passed since that fateful day in the park. Carlos's office was full of people, all gathered for a special occasion.
5 years ago, I was a waitress struggling to survive and care for my sick mother. Today, I stand here, not just as an accomplished professional, but as someone who had the chance to change her life and the lives of others.
She looked at Carlos, who was smiling proudly. Next to him, Julia, now the company's Director of Social Responsibility, waved encouragingly.
The scholarship program that started with me has already benefited over 100 young people. Young people who, like me, might never have had the opportunity to show their potential. But more than education and jobs, this program has given us hope and dignity.
Maria's mother, fully recovered, was crying silently in the front row.
Today, I'm pleased to inform you that our company is expanding the program to 5 new cities. Over the next 3 years, we expect to directly impact more than 1,000 lives.
Applause echoed through the room. Carlos stood up, visibly moved.
Maria, when you returned my watch that day, you not only gave me back a precious memento, you reminded me of the power of integrity and compassion. You changed not just your life, but mine, my family's, and our company's.
Julia joined them on stage.
Maria, you taught me not to judge people by their appearance or background. You showed me the true meaning of merit and hard work. Our friendship has made me a better person.
Later, in a quiet moment, Maria found herself alone with Carlos.
You know, sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had kept the watch that day.
I believe good people eventually find their way, Maria. But I'm grateful that our paths crossed in that manner. You didn't just return my watch. You restored my faith in humanity.
Maria nodded, tears in her eyes.
And you gave me much more than an opportunity. You showed me that it's possible to be successful without losing compassion.
As they observed the room full of transformed lives, both reflected on how a small act of kindness can create waves of change that extend far beyond the imaginable. The watch on Carlos's wrist, a silent witness to that incredible journey, continued to mark time. Not just hours and minutes, but transformed lives, realized dreams, and a brighter future for all. That night, when Maria returned home, she looked at the small frame on her apartment wall. In it was a handwritten note from Carlos on the day she returned the watch. "Honesty is life's watch, keep it always running." Maria smiled, knowing that that simple decision to do the right thing, even when it was difficult, had triggered a series of events that would continue to impact lives for generations. And so, the story that began with an unexpected encounter in the park transformed into a lasting legacy of integrity, compassion, and hope. A powerful reminder that our choices, no matter how small they may seem, have the power to change the world.